Hello, you fucks. Welcome to John Solo's Beer Brigade. I'm John Solo. You are not. Today we are working on, excuse me, I got cum in my throat. We're working on, this is technically not a new client for me. I've known Anna Ashley for a little while, and I've worked an Anna Ashley book through Tantor, but I've never worked Anna Ashley with us producing the project. So I'm very excited about this. This is a book we're working on. And look at him. Goddamn. Didn't he used to sing for Skid Row? Anyways. This is the first book in a new series. The series is called Dads of Stillwater. As you can imagine, there are dads, and they live in a town called Stillwater. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of good humor in this, and she's done a great job. I'm going to read you the blurb real quick so you know what we're getting into. I still got cum in my throat. There, that's better. Here we go. One artist, one attorney, two single dads. Meeting at a bachelor auction for charity had trouble written all over it as far as I was concerned, especially when the guy that won the bid for me seemed to be after only one thing, a good time between the sheets. Refusing Fletcher's advances was easy the first time around. After all, we weren't meant to see each other again, except I've just moved to Stillwater, where Fletcher lives. Except both our kids are in the same class. Now the kids are fighting, and I'm ready to throw my own punches. If only Fletcher wasn't as goddamn irresistible as he is irritating. When the fight moves from the playground to the bedroom, who will come out on top? Antagonist is book 1 in Anna Ashley's new series, Dads of Stillwater. Single dads, sassy kids, Anna's usual cast of intriguing secondary characters. Stillwater has it all. And large cocks. So, there you go. The chapter we just recorded. Let me see which one it was here. What chapter did we just do, Trace? I think we just did... 8. So, chapter 8. There's really no spoilers here at all. The two have already met. At this point, they're meeting up in a classroom with their children, and they're trying to decide how to plan a spring fair for the classroom. So, that's it. I hope you enjoy. There's no sexy times in here, so please feel free to watch it with your kiddos. I bet they'll love it. Have fun. See you next time. Chapter 8. Harrison. Sorry I'm late. We had a trauma patient come in, and then Megan wouldn't let me leave until I promised we'll go to Nona's this week for pancakes. Stella says, still catching her breath. Oh my God, is that bittersweet coffee? She takes the cup from my hand and gulps most of it down. Relax, woman. My insurance doesn't cover whiplash caused by ex-wives. She elbows me. So, what did I miss? Not my coffee. You know better than to deny a tired nurse. So, what did I miss? Not my coffee. You know better than to deny a tired nurse her coffee. You basically just increased your life expectancy by at least a year with your generosity. But it's going to be the saddest, most under-caffeinated year of my life. Stella gave me her as-if smile. Gives me. It should be gave. This is not present tense. But it's going to be the saddest, most under-caffeinated year of my life. Stella gave me her as-if smile as she surveys the parents in the class. There's something different about her. I can tell she's tired from her shift at the hospital, but her eyes are smiling, and she looks, I don't know, just different. Maybe I underestimated the anxiety caused by the car accident. She never talks much about the impact it had on her, choosing to focus on Megan and her safety, but maybe Stella needed this move too. Am I the only one still struggling? And what am I struggling with? I'm happy-ish at my job, and I have a nice house with a small backyard that leads to a field. What else? And what am I struggling with? I'm happy-ish at my job. I have a nice house with a small backyard that leads to a field. What else can I possibly want? I begin to ask Stella about her light mood when she elbows me. Who's that? And why is he looking at you like he wants to either fight you or eat you? I follow Stella's line of sight. Not that I need to. It's an easy guess who she's talking about. Fletcher's blue eyes are intense, and for the second time since I walked into the classroom, I find myself staring. Harrison. Sorry, what? Are you okay? Stella asks. Yeah, that's Fletcher. He's George's dad. I don't need to say anything else. I mentioned the incident to Stella when I dropped Megan off on Sunday. Really? That's so not what I expected him to look like, she says. What do you mean? Instead of answering, she walks over to Fletcher. He breaks eye contact with me when he sees her. Hi, I'm Stella, Megan's mom and Harrison's long-suffering ex-wife. Stella holds out her hand. Fletcher gives me a brief look before shaking her hand. Nice to meet you, Stella. I want to... He starts. If you're about to apologize because your kid behaved like a kid, you better get me a coffee first. I also don't apologize for my kid being a kid on an empty stomach, so you better grab me one of those magic cookies, too. Fletcher's smile widens, and he wraps his arm over Stella's shoulder, turning her toward the lovely buns and bittersweet table. Stella, I have a feeling we're going to be great friends. Great, I mumble. Oh, come on, love puff. I need your ex on my side if you're... feeling we're going to be great friends. Great, I mumble. Oh, come on, love puff. I need your ex on my side if we're going to be one big happy family one day, he says. Come on, Stell. Let's fill you up with Stillwater's goodness. My mouth is still gaping when Stella turns her head to me so she can mouth, We'll talk later. Great. So, Stell, I need to know everything about you, from your favorite nail polish to how you acquired the magical powers required to get that scally man to chill. I'm a nurse, so I rarely wear polish, but if you want the shortcut to my heart, it's through funky headbands and coffee, Stella says as she surveys Liv's cookies. Headbands and coffee, Stella says as she surveys Liv's cookies. Fletcher. Oh. Headbands and coffee, Stella says as she surveys Liv's cookies. Funky headbands? Fletcher asks. My patients love them. I have one with 2 little apples hanging from it, and it never fails to get them talking. What do you do? Fletcher is entranced by Stella, and it looks like the feeling is mutual. Seeing them together puts a funny taste in my mouth that has no place being there. So what if they become friends and Stella can arrange playdates for the kids, leaving me out of it? I pick a chair nearby and sit, pretending I'm not listening to every word they exchange. When does this meeting start, anyway? I'm an artist, Fletcher says. I paint, mostly commissioned work. I like being home with... Artist, Fletcher says. I paint, mostly commissioned work. I like being home for George. Understandable. Working shifts at the hospital is a bummer sometimes. But there's an after-school club one of the doctors started a few years ago. Kids can learn about medicine and nursing while they wait for their parents to finish their shift. I force myself to drown out their conversation, which is easier said than done. You don't have to. That's Melody, or whatever her fucking name is. Force myself to drown out their conversation, which is easier said than done. You don't have to worry about him. He's an incorrigible flirt, but a great friend. I turn to the petite woman sitting next to me. It's none of my business. Stella and I are divorced. He can flirt with whomever he likes. She bites her lip as though she's trying not to smile. Weird. I'm sorry. We haven't met, have we? I ask. She tucks her short hair behind her ear in a gesture that could be seen as flirty, but I see a wedding ring. Why are people in this town so confusing? I'm Melody. Our kids are in the same class. All right. Nice to meet you, I say. Ellis comes in holding a stack of papers, which he drops on his desk before going to the back of the room. It seems everyone is getting their coffee fix but me. I glance at the back of the room again, where Stella and Fletcher are engrossed in conversation, including Ellis in their little group. So, how are you settling in? I hope Stillwater is meeting your expectations so far, Melody says. If by that she means, was I expecting to meet exasperating men or people that already know my personal life before they've met me, then yes, Stillwater is meeting all my expectations. Yes, it's a nice town. Megan loves her new school, and Stella seems happy too. How about you? I stare ahead to the whiteboard at the front of the class. Jury's still out on me. She bumps my shoulder. We'll grow on you before you know it. She stands and joins a group of women. I ignore their stares as Stella joins me on the chair Melody vacated. I like him, she says, crossing her legs and resting the coffee-holding hand on her knee. Fletcher? No, Father Christmas. She rolls her eyes. Ellis clears his throat, and the chatter around the room quiets. Yes. Quietens. Her eyes. Ellis clears his throat, and the chatter around the room quiets. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming and for your contributions to the booming business that is babysitting in Stillwater. Everyone laughs. I've spoken to all of you individually about this year's spring fair. I'm really impressed by your desire to have a diverse and interesting experience for the children. So, let's get right into it. Ellis plugs in his laptop, and an empty document is projected onto the whiteboard. The noise in the room grows louder as parents throw ideas at Ellis, and he attempts to capture them all in the document. Before long, the list is growing, and in my opinion, a little too far-fetched. What the hell am I doing here, Stella? This isn't for me. You're organizing this with Fletcher. I'm not letting you pull out. You need this. I stare at her. What do you mean? She sighs and lowers her voice even more. I can tell you're struggling with the move to a small town. I think this would be a good chance to meet some people and get involved in something important to Megan. You had to pull the Megan card. As much as I hate to say it, she may be right. My call with Tate and Indy replays in my mind. I look around for Fletcher. He's sitting with Melody and her friends, but he's not paying attention to them. Instead, he's scribbling in a small notebook. His long blonde hair drapes over his shoulders, so I can't see what he's writing. His hand moves in a fluid motion over the notebook. Is he drawing? Everyone's voice. You got that right. Moves in a fluid motion over the notebook. Is he drawing? Everyone's voices fade into white noise as I secretly indulge in my observation of Fletcher. It's the first time since we met that I've gotten to do this. Look at the man without the mask. Forget about the jokes and nicknames, how much he irritates me. He tucks a strand of hair behind his ear, and my fingers twitch on my lap. How soft is his hair? I'm so lost in my thoughts that I'm too slow when he lifts his head and turns toward me. He smiles, and I smile back. He tears the page he was working on from his notebook and folds it. Without breaking eye contact, he says something to a guy sitting next to him. The note passes from person to person until it reaches me. I shake my head in disbelief, and his smile changes. I see a small blush rise up his neck. His smile changes. I see a small blush rise up his neck. I want to see more of it, but his hair is doing a good job of covering his skin. He nods for me to open the note, so I do. Inside is a pencil sketch of us as superheroes, and a question. Want to save the spring fair with me? Beneath the writing there are 2 boxes, one for yes and one for maybe. I hold a laugh at the absence of a hard no. I pull up my phone and type a message. Harrison, someone needs to learn about consent. Fletcher, you can consent to working with me, or maybe. Someone needs to learn about consent. Fletcher, you can consent to working with me, or maybe working with me. Harrison, where's the option to pull out? Fletcher, 5 minutes with me, and you won't want to pull out. I snort and hide the screen when Stella gives me a chastising look. Fletcher, 10 minutes, and you'll also want to work with me. I close my eyes and draw a deep breath. My dick is reacting to this exchange. Harrison, fine. Fletcher, is that a yes? You can be in charge, if you want. Harrison, stop it. Fletcher, stop what? I shake my head at the photo that follows, a selfie of him with an angel's halo around his head. I save the picture and reply. Harrison, everyone knows the person in charge is really the person who allows someone else to be in charge. Fletcher, and this is why we'll work perfectly together. I unfold the paper and take my pen out to ask... Night, Shivka. And this is why we'll work perfectly together. I unfold the paper and take my pen out to add... And this is why we'll work perfectly together. I unfold the paper and take my pen out to add my answer. I take a photo and send it to him. His smile sends me off kilter. I can't remember the last time I saw someone smile at me like that, and I don't think he knows he's doing it. Which is worse. Far worse.